my name is Tori, this is No Life, and welcome back to my channel, and welcome to another monthly reset vlog that I started doing last month in November, and I really liked the style of these vlogs. It really kind of helped me get organized for the month ahead. So it is Monday morning, and I decided that this would be the perfect time to kind of film this reset vlog because Thanksgiving was last week, Black Friday was last week, I had a friend in town, I had Jess from Piece of Books here, so it feels like a good vibe to kind of just reset, plan some content for December, plan some content for vlogmas, kind of get caught up on some work things. I have my coffee. Like I said, it's a Monday morning. I put my holiday decorations up. The holidays are some of my favorite times of the year, so I'm very excited. Also in this video, I'm going to be talking about just some plans for 2024, some reading plans. I've been thinking about it a little bit more since I did the end of the year book tag where they asked, like, do you have any plans for 2024? Like, have you been planning? And I said no. But I don't know, I've been thinking on it a little bit, like some things with my channel that I want to change, some things with my Patreon I want to change, some things with my reading I want to change. So yeah, there's a lot of things that I want to get into, but I wanted to talk about a couple books for sure that I want to read in December. I'm filming my December TBR today, along with resetting everything. I'm filming that today, so you've already seen that on my channel. But I want to just like focus more on rereading. So I did mention that I'm going to be doing a couple of rereads in December. A reread for sure that I'm really excited to read actually is Crescent by Sarah J. Maas. So I love Sarah J. Maas. I'm a big fan of her fantasy world. I feel like she writes in such a unique way that really does blend fantasy and romance together, and for me that really works. So I really have been wanting to reread the Crescent City series, especially before the next book comes out at the end of January. So December is going to be all for House of Earth and Blood by Sarah J. Maas, which I'm so excited to have this exclusive edition. I have to take this stupid sticker off. I hate when they put stickers on the front of the books, but I do like this. I like how it's just like the pages are thicker. I don't know, I like how it is floppy even though it is kind of thick, so I'm excited to annotate this and, you know, just dive back into this world because I don't think I've reread these books at all since the first time I read them. So that's saying a lot because this world, I mean, if you've read House of Sky and Breath, you know how the cliffhanger that was left in that book. So I'm like so prepared for the third book and I get so excited talking about it. So this is definitely one that I'm excited to read. I'm doing a read along with a bunch of other people in Booktube. I think like 5 other people here in Booktube. I'll have the host linked in the description box below. But our first live show is going to be at the end of December, and then we're going to have a live show at the end of January, and then a live show in February to kind of talk about everything because there's a lot. These books have a lot. It's a lot of fantasy, but the romance is so good. I love the characters, so I'm very excited to highlight and annotate this book. I also have my books up there, but I want to reread Saving Six and Redeeming Six by Chloe Walsh. Those are 2 of my absolute favorite books of this year. I read them at the beginning of this year and I never picked them up again. So I'm doing a lot of rereading in December and I'm not mad about that. And I think that's something that I want to carry over into 2024 of like rereading just some of the books that just make me feel good. Books that just really hit my soul, really just, you know, like make me love reading. So that's one thing I kind of want to change. Another book I definitely want to read is some Christmas romances. I love the holidays. Like I said, it's one of my favorites. So I definitely want to read Snowden for Christmas by Jacqueline Snow. I was sent this from Forever Publishing. This is a holiday romance. It's a contemporary romance. And our female character is the sorority mom for obviously a sorority at a college, and the main male character is the head football coach. That just sounds so freaking good to me, and I cannot wait to read this. I want to see if the audiobook is out. Maybe I'll get the audiobook for this one. This is definitely one I want to read in December for sure. Talking about 2024 reading plans, it's a lot. Thinking about like the whole year, I don't know, I never would have thought like last year when I made my 2023 goals and like plans for my channel that I would change it so much, but there are some books that I've bought recently that I think is gonna like be a little telling for my reading taste. I don't know what's been up with me, but for some reason, like, I've missed reading some historical fiction books. I've missed reading some just some of those like really cozy books that used to make me feel a lot. So I think in 2024, I really want to lean into just like more of what I'm in the mood for at that moment. So I am a big mood reader and I do like to make TBRs for you guys, and I feel really guilty when I don't stick to them. But because I'm a mood reader, honestly, like my reading will change. I will make a TBR and my mood will change and I'll be like, well, I don't really want to read these anymore. So I really want to lean into the whole thing of like just read what really is like calling to me and speaking to me at that moment. So I really, really, really want to, like I said, go back to some historical fiction books. Like, I want to go back to some fantasy and fantasy romance books. I like to like branch out and read different things. I haven't read a nonfiction book at all this year. And that makes me so sad because last year in 2022, I made it a point to read a nonfiction book every single month, at least one. I tried, at least I put it on my TBR. And I really want to get back to that because, I don't know, I love reading some nonfiction books. Especially like mixing in with a bunch of the romances. Also, romances have become like so, I don't want to say oversaturated, but there's just like so many new releases all the time. And sometimes I do want to pick up new authors that I haven't heard of and haven't heard anyone talk about, because I did that with a hockey romance this month in November and I absolutely fell in love with that book. It's one of my favorites of the year. But also I still want to balance that with like other things I want to read. So not saying that I'm not going to be a romance reader, because like these shelves are all filled with romances. But these are just some of the books that I definitely either want to get to in December or at least next year, and this is just kind of gonna be like a taste of like what my reading's gonna be. So I actually was sent this by Book of the Month, but this book has an audiobook through my library that I've been wanting to read, and it's Lady Tan's A Circle of Women by Lisa C. So this is a historical fiction. Basically, our female character, she is practicing Chinese medicine in China, and she's learned from like a young age kind of the illnesses that plague women, especially with like when giving birth. And so when she's forced into an arranged marriage, she's like forbid from practicing that medicine. So she's kind of like branching out and like in secret while she's in that marriage, and like having this circle of women that can help other women. And I don't know, it just seemed really, really good. I love like historical fiction where it's either a really strong friendship between the characters, like the female characters, and or if there's a good romance, like either one or both. Like I'm good with both. So I really like this cover. And like I said, I'm a huge historical fiction reader. Outside of like World War I or World War II, I like to read other things as well. So this is definitely one I want to get to. Another one that I've heard is more historical fiction that I'm actually going to be reading in December for sure, and that's Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross. So I've heard that the romance is very light, but for me as a historical fiction reader, I personally really, really, really love when a historical fiction book does have a romance throughout, and that kind of carries my little romantic heart through the book, as well as like the historical aspect. So I actually don't know when this book takes place. Oh, this is a fantasy. For some reason I thought it was historical fiction. So I guess it's like a historical fantasy type thing, but they're both journalists. They must face the depths of hell in a war between gods. So I guess like, oh, they write back and forth to each other. When I tell you, I really don't know anything about this book. I just know that some friends have read it and really loved it, and some friends have read it and not really liked it. So I'm interested to see where I fall with that, but because it's like that fantasy with historical aspects, with the romance, and I do know it ends on a cliffhanger, and I do know the second book, Ruthless Vows, comes out December 26th. So I definitely want to read this before that book comes out because I'm very excited. So this is another like where I want to go with my reading, where it's branched out just from like just solely romance. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with romance. I've just literally read romance this whole year. I haven't read one historical fiction. I haven't even read one historical romance, and I used to read historical romances all the time. Another book that I recently bought during Black Friday, there was like a big sale at like Target and Barnes & Noble, and I do have a couple others. I have a couple others that I want to talk about, but one is Throne of the Fallen by Carrie Maniscalco. So I picked this up at actually Walmart. It was only $14 for this hardback, which I think that's a steal. And I've heard that this is Carrie Maniscalco's adult fantasy. Like adult fantasy romance, and I tried to read the oh, her like young adult or new adult fantasy, Kingdom of the Wicked, I think, and I did not like that book. I actually think I still have it up on my shelves. Or maybe I gave it away to someone when I unhauled it, but I'm willing to give this a try because it's an adult fantasy romance. So I don't really know anything about this other than someone's blackmailing our female character. So it's Envy and Camilla. I'm very excited. Like, it's a very long book. It's almost a little over 500 pages, but I'm really intrigued by this. So this is another kind of like taste of what my reading plans are going to be. Another book that I got during Black Friday was The Fragile Threads of Power by V.E. Schwab. I got this at Target because they were having 30% off the books instead of their normal 20. Now, I read The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue back in 2021. That was one of my first vlogs I did on my channel where I read that book, and it's more, they have a romance, but it's light. Like I said, it's like a fantasy romance, but it's like light fantasy. I've heard some people talk about this book, and I honestly don't really know what this is about. But I loved The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. I really liked the writing. I liked how V.E. Schwab can write in a way that's like, it doesn't make you feel like you're reading a fantasy book, which I love. So I don't really know this one, but a whole bunch of people blurbed this, like Jodi Picoult, Neil Gaiman, like there's all of these people, like Washington Post, New York Times. So I just am really excited. Another book I picked up at Target was The Hurricane Wars by Thea Guanzon. I think that's her name. She's a South Asian author, and I think this is supposed to be adult, but the pages are very like huge and the font is huge, which is more of like a young adult fantasy. So either way, I'm very intrigued by this book. Allie Hazelwood blurbed it. Hannah Witten, Katie Robert, Danielle L. Jensen. Like, I love all of those authors. So apparently one of the characters grows up as an orphan. The prince is the emperor's only son and heir, and has to obliterate any threats to the Night Empire's rule. So there's apparently like a war. It's enemies to lovers romance set in a richly drawn world. And apparently this is her debut book. And I'll tell you this, I read Chloe Gong, which she debuted back in 2020. I read her first book, These Violent Delights, and I fell in love with her writing. So I love finding new authors because I like ride or die for them. Like, I've bought all of Chloe Gong's backlist except one, her new like YA one, but I've bought all of her other ones. So I'm very, very excited for this one as well, just because I don't know, like those just really are piquing my interest right now, and I don't know what it is. That was a very long kind of like introduction to what I want to do in 2024 with my reading plans. I'm gonna do some work, I'm gonna do some organization with my shelves. I'll take you with me for this reset vlog. I have to do some planning and I'll show you that, but yeah, you can let me know something you're excited to read in 2024. Yeah. I just got done planning some content for December, as you guys saw me doing. So I just wanted to walk you guys through exactly kind of like what I do when I plan this stuff, because I feel like a lot of people like don't really talk about it, or if they do, it's like a very simplistic thing. Mine is more simplistic. I have a color-coded system for my planner. So my main channel videos are this blue color. I have pink for my Patreon videos that I do every week, and then purple is my podcast episodes that I do with Jess at Peace Love Books, and that just helps me kind of like stay organized and look ahead. I do use these little tabs that you see me taking off. Those are like ideas that I have, and then once we get closer to those days, or if I know I'm going to film them within a couple of days, I will take that off and actually put it in my planner. So those little tabs are usually like what I take off when I'm like about to film something, or when I know for sure it's going to go live on a certain date, so I'm not just like scratching out a bunch of random things, you know what I mean? So yeah, a couple of vlogmas things that I have planned, which I'm actually really excited for. I know this is like the first video for vlogmas that you guys are seeing, but I want to read some like, not hyped books, but like I want to read books from this year that got like a lot of attention, and one of them is Divine Rivals, like I talked about. I definitely want to do it like a separate reading vlog for vlogmas reading that, so I'm very excited for that. I'm waiting for the audio to come in through my library, so I think I only have like 3 weeks left if I'm not mistaken. Oh, it says 4 weeks, but hoping that goes down. I might just have to buy the audiobook. Because I want to reread Crescent City, House of Sky and Breath, like I said at the beginning, I want to vlog that as well because I have not reread it, which means when I annotate and highlight those things, I get very excited to do that because I only usually do that on rereads, specifically with fantasy, because like you never know what's going to happen on a first read through of fantasy. So I'm very excited for that. I also am going to be participating in the Novellathon, which is a readathon. For this time they're only doing it for 3 days, but it's like over a weekend, so it'll be kind of like a weekend reading vlog, and I'm gonna be reading some, you know, some romance holiday novellas that I'm very excited for. I have a whole list. I did a holiday TBR video as well as like a holiday rec video previously in November, like the day after Thanksgiving, so very excited for that. I want to do like a day in my life because now that I work for myself and that I work in the book industry, I want to show you like what a day in my life is, kind of where like what I'm doing, how I bounce back and forth between projects. So that's another one I have. I have a come shop with me reading vlog. I'm going to be going to visit a friend, and we plan to do a bunch of book shopping and go to like 6 different bookshops. So I'm excited for that, for you guys to see that one. I also have a plan to read the new Stephanie Garber series. I say it's new, but the 3rd book just came out, and I have the audiobooks for book 1 and book 2. So I'm very excited to start that vlog and see where I can kind of fit that in for Vlogmas. I've heard really good things about that series, so I'm very excited for that. Now, for Patreon, I like to do obviously vlogs, but I like to do like sit down videos and stuff that like I think they would enjoy. So like I have a new reading journal coming from Canada. Actually, I ordered it from Little Inklings Designs, I think it's called, and it's a physical journal. So it's kind of like my planner where it's a spiral, and it has like a TBR, new releases section, where you can do 24 books in 2024. So I'll be kind of filling that out whenever it gets here in December, because it's shipped. So I think I should be getting it next week, maybe the week after, and talk about like reading journals digitally versus physically, because this year I tried to do digitally and it did not work. So I'll be talking about those things of why I personally like to do physical journaling, just like I like to have a planner physically, not digitally. I always like to do like personalized recommendations for my patrons, so they tell me like what they're in the mood for, or a trope that they want to read but they haven't tried yet, or a genre or anything like that. So yeah, I don't always plug my Patreon. If you want to join my Patreon, or if you just want to try it out, there is a 7-day free trial thing that you can do where you get like 7 days free, and then you can cancel it, or you can become a patron if you want. So I'll just plug that one time for you guys, but I do plan out my Patreon content. Of course, I have my end of the year videos that I do, so like 24 books to read in 2024. I said I wasn't gonna do that. I don't know if I'm gonna do 24 books or if I'm gonna mix that with just like anticipated releases as well, but I do have a whole video dedicated for 2024 anticipated releases that I'm gonna do, new authors that I've discovered this year, because I've discovered a lot of good authors this year that have become like ride or die authors type of a thing. I also have top books of the year. I have the New Year book tag. So I have some really cool videos coming in December, but yeah, I'm glad I got this planning done because I feel like I'm better and ready for December, because I had like ideas, but I never actually put them down. So yeah, that's what I have for December. Now I'm gonna do some more work. I have some work stuff to do, and then I'm gonna film, and I will check in with you guys later once I kind of start reorganizing my shelves. So I just filmed a couple of videos, so I have to reorganize my shelves, pick up my books, and I also have some special editions that I gotta put up, so enjoy. So I actually have a lot of fantasy. I have the ones that I talked about, and then my 2 reads for December for vlogs that I don't have room for on my shelf. But as you can see, I do want to put another bookshelf right here. I have space for either a big one or a small one. I do know a small one for sure. I just have to measure for a big one where this chair is. That's my filming chair. I just moved it out of the way. So I definitely want to get a new shelf, which I may be doing an exclusive, like, rearrange my whole shelf with me. Like, all of my shelves, top to bottom, because they're very big. But, yeah, I just don't have room for those. So those fantasy romances are going to sit on my filming table until I get those. Hi. Hi, pretty girl. She's just being a pretty girl. Hi, girl. Hi. She just woke up from her nap. She messed up my covers. I'm here to actually close out this November reset. You wanna come here? Okay. Okay. Here, we'll put you guys down a little bit so you can see me and Mimi. She's just a good girl. Huh? You're just a good girl. You want to be in front of the camera. She just wanted to be in front of the camera for a second. I'm here to close out this monthly reset vlog because I'm about to go to the gym. So one of the things I like to do when I start like a new month type thing is I like to get back into the gym because usually I don't stick with it. And I had someone in town last week. It was Thanksgiving and I hadn't been to the gym in like 2 weeks. So I'm actually very excited to go. I have my water bottle. Like, I'm early. Like, I'm ready. I am ready. But I really hope you enjoyed this monthly reset vlog. I wanted to kind of get ahead with some stuff and plan some content with you guys. Share some of my reading plans for next year. Just things that I'm excited for next year. I will say that, like, closing out 2023 because it's the last 2023 monthly reset vlog. I am excited for 2024. I am actually very excited. I have a lot of cool ideas that I hope that I can implement. 2023 was a whirlwind. Like, I completely changed careers this year. I'm someone who, not like I'm a new year, new me type of person. I like to implement like new things that make me kind of like better myself. That's like getting back into the gym, doing a new kind of like workout thing, which for about half this year I've been going to classes with my mom. We go to the same gym, so we just choose to do the classes, and I kind of want to step that up and do 2 or 3 classes a week, and then maybe go to the gym a couple other times, or at least start taking like Miko on daily walks or anything like that. Mimi doesn't go on walks, do you, girl? Huh? You're an inside kitty cat. Yeah, she's a very inside kitty cat girl. Bettering my health, my eating habits. We did a grocery haul, as you could tell, so I want to get better at like just getting back into the kitchen and cooking more, because that kind of dwindled this year. I ran out of like ideas and stuff. So along with content, I really just want to like better myself too. So yeah, I hope you guys stick around for 2024. I love doing these monthly reset vlogs. They're definitely going to be something I'm implementing in the next year. She's getting cozy again. It's time for her to take another nap. Right, Mama? Hope you stick around. You see more of Mimi. She'll be in my vlogs a lot because she's my girl. She's my kitty cat. She's the one who follows me around. But for this video, drop me a snowflake emoji, book stack emoji, because it's December and I did some organization with my shelves. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe for more content from me. As always, I hope you're living a novel life, and I will see you in my next one. Bye, guys.